Crime is the number one issue destroying America right now, and it affects every bit of our daily lives. It is devouring this country from the inside like a deadly cancer. There are streets we can't walk, cities we can't safely visit, and entire neighborhoods inside our once great nation that have become completely uninhabitable. Bright young minds in these communities have no future. The criminals spreading this plague are now bleeding into the suburbs and towns across the United States. For our country to survive, we must eradicate crime. Totally, ruthlessly, and without apology. That means enforcing the law at 100% strength, punishing every offender harshly, and permanently removing dangerous criminals from society. Some of the ideas in this video might sound harsh, anti-liberty, or even extreme to weak ears. But this is my channel and these are my ideas. And I believe without hesitation that with the right leaders in charge, our cities, states, and country can become the safest place on earth. And one more thing before you comment that my ideas are harsh. Look up your city, town, or state followed by the word crime on YouTube or Google. Look at all the news stories, videos, clips of violent crimes occurring that you might not even know about. The fact of the matter and the sad reality is that our country faces a crime problem. Let's begin with one of the biggest lies in modern politics, a term known as victimless crime. Things like drug use, gambling, prostitution, pornography. No victim, no problem, they claim. What a disgusting, deadly deception. These acts never happen in isolation. Drug addiction doesn't just ruin the user. It annihilates families, explodes homelessness, collapses hospitals, and unleashes waves of theft, robbery, and violence. That harmless junkie smashing your car window or robbing a store is the direct reason your neighborhood feels like a war zone. One selfish high triggers a chain of destruction that ends with assaulted innocents, terrified parents, and dying communities. And this type of crime is not punished in many states and cities across the country. The same goes for the rest: prostitution, gambling, pornography. They don't liberate people, they enslave them. They create broken lives, broken families, and a depressed, degenerate underclass. Calling this freedom is a lie. True freedom requires order. A responsible government's first duty is to protect its citizens from self-destruction and the destruction it unleashes on everyone around them. This is why we must bring back broken windows policing with full force. When society tolerates open drug dealing, vandalism, filth, and public decay, it screams one message: that the law is dead. When the rules disappear, bigger crimes explode. Neighborhoods don't just decline, but they collapse. Businesses will then flee. The economy will suffer. Parents will live in fear of letting their children even walk to school. Public transport, which is already dangerous, becomes even more of a nightmare. Good people stop trusting anyone and cooperating with the police. The hardest hit are working class families who cannot escape the chaos created by these failed, weak policies. The entire purpose of criminal law is public safety. Nothing else matters more. Punishment should be real, immediate, predictable, and severe. For decades, weak politicians and activist judges have turned the justice system into a pathetic rehabilitation fantasy camp. Rehabilitation has some place for first-time minor offenders, but when it becomes the priority, the system loses all deterrent power and betrays its own people. If violent thugs get a slap on the wrist and walk free the same day, violence is encouraged. If repeat predators keep spinning through the revolving door arrest system with zero real consequences, the law becomes a sick joke. When criminals sense weakness, crime then explodes, and law-abiding citizens pay with their blood, their property, and their future. And the ironic part is we don't even have the legal means to defend ourselves. In many states, you cannot stand your ground. I've gone over this in previous videos, but I support a constitutional amendment which allows individuals to use self-defense, including lethal force, to protect their property as well as themselves and others. I believe people should not be punished for defending themselves when they're attacked. In my view, laws that penalize lawful self-defense are completely unjust. People love citing the statistic that the United States has the largest population of prisoners in the world. And this is a fact. This can be attributed to many things: our stellar police work, our judicial system, or the overregulation of government in our everyday life. But the fact of the matter is we have a portion of the population who are simply incompatible with society. They must be imprisoned and kept away from those they can harm. But at the same time, prisons must be secure and orderly. Inmates should not be tortured, but prisons exist to punish and remove predators from society. The comfort of criminals will never again come before the safety of innocent Americans. We need to enforce this with much stronger punishment. Murder should be life without parole. You should never see daylight again. Violent repeat offenders who prove they can't live among civilized people, lock them up and throw away the key. Long, permanent sentences that guarantee they can never hunt decent people again. The justice system's job is to protect future victims, not coddle past ones. We must also come to terms with where we've gone incredibly wrong. The war on drugs consumed vast resources and still failed to stop addiction and overdoses. It empowered vicious cartels and gangs. Law enforcement must now refocus with ruthless aggression on violent crime, organized trafficking, human trafficking, and career predators terrorizing our communities. Smart regulation and treatment can help in some areas, but never at the cost of accountability. A civilized society demands real consequences. Laws cannot be optional based on politics, zip code, or social status. Sentencing must be consistent and harsh nationwide. Justice must hammer street thugs, wealthy elites, and corrupt politicians equally. When the powerful escape punishment, the entire system rots from the top down. And one thing to note, despite supporting far tougher punishment overall, I actually still oppose the death penalty. The government is incompetent and fallible, and since 1973, over 190 people have been exonerated from death row. An irreversible punishment, like death, has no place in a flawed system. Life without parole protects society while still allowing justice to be corrected if proven wrong. This is not about revenge, it's about survival, and will create a nation where children walk home safely. Businesses thrive without fear. Public spaces belong to the people again, and every criminal knows the law has sharp teeth and it's not afraid to use them. Every successful civilization understood this. Social order isn't automatic. It's imposed through strength, accountability, and a justice system that puts innocent people first. The fake debate between tough on crime and soft on crime is finished. The only question that matters is this: will we defend the decent, law-abiding Americans who built this country, or will we keep sacrificing them to savages and predators? The answer must be clear, uncompromising, and final. Enforce the law 100%. Punish crime severely. Remove the criminals from our society. America's survival depends on it. Thank you guys for watching another video. Please comment down below. I'll respond to every comment. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought. I really would love to give a speech like this one day. Crime is so important to me because we can deal with it in our everyday life, whether we ride a train, or we go to the gas station, or we go to the grocery store. So once again, thanks for watching. See you next one.